Yeah, I think that part two that you need to get used to is thinking about commercial from a different, or just at least looking at it through a different lens than personal, just in the general, the sale. I mean, to your point, to the sales process or the process of writing the business, right? So I say this a lot, man, and I don't think people believe it. And then all of a sudden they go on a sales call with me, or they hear, like, during COVID, we were actually recording real calls, and I was putting, like, in Killing Commercial, I have Zooms where we close deals with real prospects over Zoom. And so people could hear that I'm actually, they're like, holy shit, this guy actually says it and it works. Well, no, I wouldn't tell you if it didn't work. Like, but I think you need to figure out what your entry points are, because it's not about the insurance. You can't make it about the insurance. If you do, you limit your ability to work with that account for the 90 days before renewal. You don't want to do that. You can get hired well in advance of that, right? There are times where I'll go in and I'll do a deal where I'll get hired a month or two after renewal, and I'll do a revenue share 50-50 of any money I find that they spent that they shouldn't, whether it be through filing aggravated inequities on their experience mod, or looking at audits that were closed and were inaccurate due to class code issues or whatever else. But there's an account it's a pretty popular story. I think I've told it a couple times on the podcast, where we knew that this account had been charged wrong. We knew the class code was wrong. It was a solar energy contractor, but they were building solar fields. They weren't going on people's roofs. They were working for venture capital firms that are down here buying a bunch of vacant land, putting a solar field on it, and getting their money back in a year. So everything after that, they're cash flow positive, which is just insane to think about. But we met with them, and I looked at it, and I'm like, I told Kyle, I'm like, this thing could be a huge opportunity for us. They wouldn't split with me 50-50. They said they would do it 70-30, with them keeping 70. And I still agreed to do it, just on here's the found money piece. Then we took a service fee from them for doing all of the insurance work, but we did the recovery first. I spent 2 hours total, and we recovered $1.3 million for them. And I got 30% of that money for 2 hours of my work. $390,000. It was actually over 400, because I rounded my numbers in telling you the story, but it's like 420 some $1,000 is what our cut was for 2 hours worth of work. Right. But I wasn't placing policies. I wasn't quoting. I was solving a problem that prospect didn't even know they had. So my advice to you specifically with dealing with service contractors is, the problems that they have that are going to be the buzzwords that are going to get them the most interested in meeting with you are audit is a big one, and certificates is the other one. If you go to any contractor and you say audit or certificates, I can guarantee you they're going to be pissed off about one of the two. So
Yeah.
we go in and talk about that, because we have eCerts online. We have a self-serve portal. It's hey, just out of curiosity, I'm sure you're happy with your agent. How do they do about getting these certificates? Are they getting those to you in real time? Well, no, it usually takes, around 24 hours or so. What? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
So that's one way. Or the audit. Oh man, I got screwed. I'm like, look, I'm not going to tell you the insurance company was wrong, because likely the insurance company was right. We knew what your payroll was projected to be, and we knew what your rates were. I said, if I have to be honest with you, I feel like your agent kind of let you down. That's one of the reasons why we developed a spreadsheet that we give our clients that shows them what they've used every month versus what they projected for the year and how much they have left. So if you're going to have, if you have a great year, we're going to know you're having that great year, well in advance. And I can come to you and ask you, do you want me to make a midterm endorsement? Do you want to just set the money aside knowing that you're going to have an audit at the end of the year and then you can pay it? It just depends. And so that's those are the two, man. And those will get you plenty of conversations. Ask those regardless of what time of year it is. Ask them, because here's the other thing. I actually prefer starting the process a month after renewal for a number of reasons. but the first one is I'm not under any pressure to perform on the insurance side, right? And so if I don't have found money, I can take a calculated risk as to how much of my intellectual capital I want to give to somebody and how much time I want to devote. But I've got 8 months to get rid of the competition before the insurance ever comes into play.
Yeah.
And what I know is it honestly doesn't matter who their carrier is. I can compete with anybody unless it's just something that's absolutely ludicrous. But that also goes back to why I prefer to take a service fee on the majority of my middle market accounts. I really don't care who places the insurance. I have clients that I handle all of their renewal and placement, and I use another agent to do it because they have a Cincinnati contract and I don't. I'm getting paid a service fee to give my client the best advice possible around their insurance. If Cincinnati is $75,000 cheaper, including the compensation for the other agent, that's the right move. It's not going to be the right move forever, but for the 2 or 3 years, they're going to allow you to have that pricing structure. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't recommend it. I'm completely free. I'm getting paid regardless. Now I just gave my client even greater savings, which means I'm positioning myself to go back and say at the end of the year, hey, between what we did moving your coverage to Cincinnati and your mod dropping and everything else, we saved you $150,000 this year. You know, I'd like to increase my fee by $10,000 if I'm going to keep delivering those kind of results to you. What are they going to do? Tell me no? Absolutely not. You know, so that's the other thing, you know, as you get into the bigger stuff, that's just something to be thinking through in your mind. The service fee option is huge, and it's something that's completely underutilized in the middle market. Yet every day we say we want to be treated like attorneys and accountants. They don't make commission. Their compensation's not tied to the sale of a product. Why is ours? Why is our I mean, if you really want to get a contractor going, tell them you think the compensation model for agents is flawed. It's the only industry where somebody can get an increase on their experience mod, and as a result of their poor performance, pay more money in premium, which means their agent gets a raise. How is that fair? We go in
Gotta
and
make sure to say that to the right guy, but yeah, no, I totally see that would work.
We go in and we establish KPIs. And if we drive your costs down, we establish on the front end of our relationship what our bonus is going to be. So if I cut a client's cost, I get paid more. That's the way it should be.